But some folks who aren't feeling Trump's optimism right now are American farmers, and they are stuck in the middle of all of this.
Frank, who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump.
Mr. Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen.
No.
You voted for President Trump. So now, in this moment, you say you're in a free fall. What is your message to him?
So I'm off the Trump train. Where I'm going for now is I got to protect my business.
Heartland, a wheat farmer who says he's lost $400,000 since Trump took office.
I think there was a lot of people who voted for him that want to stay loyal to him, but it's going to get to the point where financially, if it's between supporting the president or losing your family farm.
You voted for the president?
Yes, I did.
And do you support these policies which might be hurting farmers like you?
Right now, we're the ones that are taking the hit.
I think he's sort of backstabbing the main people who got him into office in the Midwest, and he just left us down.
So this morning I ended up on Nebraska Talk, and it was a bunch of people crying, why does anybody care about Nebraska? When we voted for Kamala Harris, when I cast my vote for Harris, that was me saying, I care about you, and I want you to survive and thrive. Okay, you knew better than anybody else that your state thrives and survives off of migrants' backs. Okay, and instead of them waiting for ICE to come, they decided to peace out before they could come and get them. I don't know what to tell you guys anymore. This is what you voted for. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, this is exactly what you voted for. And now you're feeling it. What do you want us to do? You want a government handout? That's socialism. You voted against that. No. Sadly, the reality is that you'll probably have to sell a lot of your farms for pennies on the dollar to large corporations and manufacturers. But don't worry, they'll probably let you work there for a minimum wage.
Friend, pick up the phone. So there was a farmers union event in Wisconsin, and a lot of them are in the find out stage of their support for the Dollar Tree dictator. They said, hold up. We thought we were exempt. We thought we voted for hate and racism, but just not when it affects us. You see, because we're struggling. Now you're finding out. Well, let me break it down for you. Wisconsin and a lot of farms across the United States of embarrassment rely heavily on immigrant workers. Not only that, pair it with the USDA cuts. What else? They're cutting funding. Immigrants, even if they have temporary visas, are afraid to work because they think that ICE is going to come and pick them up from the farms. And then the farmers are like, wait, well, because we don't want to do that. That's not what we signed up for. And they're upset. And we said that he was a liar. He was a liar. One of the farmers at the Dairy Queen, it's not the Dairy Queen, one of the dairy farmers in Wisconsin said, this is not about politics. It's about survival. We can't milk cows without workers. Oh, really?
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero empathy.
No, I mean, we did have empathy and we cared. That's why during the election we tried to warn you, but you called it fear-mongering.
We want them to fail.
No, nobody wants farmers to fail because that's terrible for all of us. But again, you were warned before the election. Like, plenty of people were talking about that.
That's what Americans are saying right now is well, next time you'll vote the right way.
No, we're pretty sure that most of you will never change the way you vote, regardless of how bad things get, so.
Or that's what you get for who you voted for.
To be fair, this is what you voted for.
That, to me, I want to say it doesn't sound very American of people.
I mean, it's not about being American or un-American. It's about the fact that we are where we are because a lot of you, most of you, could not stand the thought of seeing a black woman as president.
But here lately, that's all we're doing is complaining.
No, we're still trying to educate and hoping that enough people will see the light so that we don't make a mistake like this again in future elections.
The last thing I want is an American business to fail.
I don't think anybody wants to see that, but again, everything happening right now is because of the way America voted.
I don't know how much more we're going to see for the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, hopefully we can start to fix things next year if we vote properly in the midterms and put people in office that will actually fight against everything that's happening right now. Hint, that is going to be nobody endorsed by this current administration.
So
So the FAFO train is stopping in Lexington, Nebraska. The Tyson Beef Factory in Lexington, Nebraska just announced that they are closing their doors. This is going to affect 3,200 workers in Dawson County. Dawson County voted 72% for bone spurs. I wonder if bathrooms and making Riley Gaines feel less mediocre was actually worth it. It is no secret that Nebraska has been feeling it ever since this spring. The tariffs really hit them hard, and the rolling back of all of the programs that Joe Biden put into place really hit Nebraska to the point where they were already yelling bankruptcy in May. And Bone Spurs kind of knows that his tariffs are the reasons why the prices of groceries and everything else has gone up, because on November 13th, he signed an executive order to undo his executive order. And he's seeking praise for fixing something that he broke. He signed an executive order to remove tariffs from things like beef, coffee, bananas, and tomatoes, as well as some other things. And this is undoubtedly so that he can say that his policies are bringing prices down when people finally start seeing relief for the items that he canceled his tariffs on. But the thing is, he created the problem. He created those price hikes. So signing this order to bring the prices down for items that he deliberately brought the prices up for isn't a win. But he's going to claim it's a win, and his people are going to believe him. But here's the problem when it comes to our beef farmers. The tariffs on beef were kind of keeping them in the game, especially since Bone Spurs went behind their back and made a beef deal with Argentina. Because the tariffs are on imports, meaning everything that we get from other countries is tariffed, that means that the stuff that is made here in the United States was cheaper than the stuff that we got from other countries, which gave the cattle ranchers and beef manufacturers a little bit of a leg up when it came to selling their beef against the competitive market of other foreign countries selling their beef here in the United States. Now that Bone Spurs has taken the tariffs off of beef, and he has screwed the cattle ranchers when it comes to the Argentina deal, as well as leaving tariffs on things that those companies need in order to do their day-to-day work, increasing their overhead costs while also decreasing how much they make and how much they can sell. Taking the tariffs off of beef at that point for imports makes those imports cheaper than the American beef. And thus, people will probably start buying more of the imported beef than the American beef. I really think he has something against cattle ranchers. And the cattle ranchers overwhelmingly voted for Bone Spurs. Were the bathrooms worth it? That's just all I want to know. Leave it down in the comments if you're a cattle rancher and you voted for Bone Spurs. Were the bathrooms really worth it? Was it that important to you to make sure that people of color and marginalized communities don't get a fair shake at work? Was telling it like it is worth your livelihood? This is a lesson for you. Racism and bigotry is expensive. Listen, while you guys are pinching pennies over the holidays to prepare for your factory closing, the rest of us are also going to be closing our wallets. November 25th through December 2nd, we aren't spending anything. And being that you should probably go ahead and save that money, you should probably join us and not spend anything as well. Most of us are going to be cutting back for the rest of the year. And like I said, since you'll be pinching those pennies now because you'll soon be out of a job, you should probably get on that bandwagon too. I hate to say I told you so, but 92%.
Thanks for clicking to watch today's video, and also welcome back to our channel. The MAGA farmers voted red, thinking that their loyalty would save their farms and their future. But you know what? Realities does not play with chants nor slogans, and sometimes the choices you make at the ballot box come with consequences you never imagined. We've prepared this video for you, and do not own the rights of the video. They belong to the original owners of the video. Let's dive in and listen to what people have to say. I'll be back with my commentary, so stick around.
I got to farm with my dad every day. It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk. And it shouldn't be.
The impact of Trump's tariffs is being felt in the Heartland. Soybean farmers here are now suffering economically like they haven't in decades.
Right now we are harvesting soybeans in Marengo, Illinois. My family has been farming since 1846. I'm the 5th generation. We're a grain operation. We grow corn, soybeans. I am a product of the pioneers. It's history. You don't let that go. One of the best memories that I had was just my dad teaching me how to drive a tractor. I got to farm with my dad every day. It was pretty cool. How many people could do that? It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk. And it shouldn't be. It's total bullshit. Human lives are at stake. It's stupid. The whole thing is stupid.
I'm very proud of him. He's done a great job. He's kind. He's very caring. He cares about other people. I didn't really want him to be a farmer. When my husband got sick, he asked if he could take over the farm. He said, Mom, give me 3 years. Just give me 3 years. So that's what we did, and it's turned into 16 years.
Harvest is usually the best time of the year. It's literally the fruits of your labor. This is the time where we as farmers get to celebrate all of our hard work and that we get paid for our year's worth of work. And unfortunately, this one has a real bitter taste to it because the money is being spent right now in Argentina and being given to billionaires. Farming's hard enough as it is, dealing with Mother Nature, but this year especially is very challenging because of the tariffs that have been put upon us. Our cost of production has increased and our markets have dropped dramatically. And this is really putting a major strain on all farmers right now. If anybody who's not a farmer and they say, well, what do I care about what's happening with farmers? What does that matter? Well, in Illinois, 20% of all jobs revolve around agriculture. And when farmers have money, we spend it, and we spend it on really big high-ticket items like combines or tractors, all of whom are made in major Rust Belt areas. And those are really high-paying, good jobs, and that trickles down to the waitresses who get better tips, to our schools because people have more income, the schools get better funded. And right now, we're just in a major holding pattern because we have no income. The American people are hurting right now. The farmers are hurting right now. There is absolutely no reason for this.
Our grain prices are down. We have tariffs. We have a bumper crop. We don't have people to sell it to. China hasn't bought one of our beans. We don't have those markets anymore because of the tariffs.
I'm looking at the commodity prices, where they're at, which is how I get paid. I'm having a real difficult time trying to give a positive outlook for 2026. When President Obama was in office, we had a wonderful jolt of energy because we had an administration that said, we're going to have advanced biofuels power our country. And then Trump got in there and decided to have his trade wars again and everything else and to roll back all those environmental protections, and the ag economy started to tank. Joe Biden gets in there again. Hey, we're going to have advanced biofuels. We're going to have airline fuel that comes from corn-based ethanol. What happened? Prices went up again, up to an all-time high, right where they were. Trump gets back in there again. We're going to have a trade war, and boom. Prices are tanking again.
President Trump is said to be considering a bailout of at least $10 billion for farmers. That may be too little too late.
We don't want a bailout. We want a market. Bailouts are Band-Aids. We aren't even made whole off of this. That's money that should be going towards senior citizens. That's money that should be going for the Affordable Care Act. That's money that should just be going to regular tax cuts for normal Americans and not billionaires. What he is doing is destroying our markets. And when those markets disappear, we're not going to get them back. We need to have a new policy. We need to have an ag policy that works for farmers again. And we know what works. We have to be able to make a living doing this. The years that we do the best are when our products are in demand. And our products, overwhelmingly for the history of this country, are in demand when we have a strong export market. And we have to keep those markets alive. We have to do that. And this administration isn't doing that. People came to this country for opportunity. Opportunity equal land. And we're giving that up. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Part of the reason why the greatness of this nation is because we take care of people, and there's values of the family farm that need to be upheld. And it's good for America.
Farmers don't vote for Trump or for conservatives in general because they're ignorant or because they don't know any better. They do it because they're rich. The GOP and Trump have always promised to cut taxes for the wealthy, to lower or loosen regulations, and to make up any shortfalls by cutting services for other people, for working class people, for lower class people. The median farmer net worth in the United States is over $1 million. That's the median. It's not the average that's jacked up by a few outliers. Like, that is the median. Their incomes are far higher, like the household incomes, far higher than the median household income for people in the United States. Farmers are sophisticated, well-moneyed people who know exactly what they're doing. They vote Republican because they want to keep their tax breaks. They want lower taxes on their income. They want to lower or get rid of the estate tax, like all the taxes that apply to rich people. They did this for purely selfish reasons and knew exactly what they were getting into. And they assumed that those benefits would outweigh whatever chaos Trump created in the markets, with the export markets, tariffs, whatever, and assumed that they would probably get some kind of bailout from that too, which they very likely will. So no, this is not something that can be attributed to ignorance or stupidity. This is malice.
People know that I tell people all the time, your life is a culmination of your choices. Not some sky daddy up there puppeteering, not karma, not anything. I mean, it's really just your choices or the choices of other people. We are affected by the choices of other people. I saw a bunch of TikToks about the farmers in Arkansas. And it's so frustrating because we tried to warn them. There was tons of information out there and people were raising their voices, and we tried to warn them about the consequences. They chose their own consequences. And I'm not a FAFO person. I've said this before. I don't want any human beings to suffer. But when a group of people has willingly oppressed other groups of people, and they allow their just deeply rooted racism to cause them to vote for someone, and now it's, now they're having to suffer the consequences of that, it's really hard for me to have any sympathy for them. You did this to yourself because you were so hell-bent on trying to hurt other people. I mean, it's come full circle. So, and then, I've seen some of the farmers where this one guy was like, well, I'm just leaving it in the hands of Jesus. He's my Lord and Savior. Yeah, he's going to help you as much as he helped people in slavery. And then this other guy was like, Trump said he loved us and I need to see the fruits of that love. He don't give a fuck about you. The fact that you still have not learned that is just like, but they're out here begging for handouts, from a government, and they hate socialism. They hate any type of help unless it's for them. Fuck everybody else. So yeah, it's hard to have any sympathy for them. And all I can say is, and I've said this so many times in my personal life with friends or whatever, I wish you would have just listened. I wish you would have just listened.
For about the 1 millionth time since Donald Trump took office, the very farmers who voted overwhelmingly for him in 2024 are pissed off at what Donald Trump has done, because no matter how many times he screws them over, they keep acting like it's never happened before and it's a shock every time. I don't know what they're expecting at this point, but I am getting sick and tired of hearing about the farmers who voted for Trump being shocked that he is screwing us over again. But nevertheless, Donald Trump really is screwing over America's cattle farmers. Trump announced recently that he is, of course, going to allow the imports of beef from Argentina, his new favorite country for some reason. He's going to send them $40 billion as well, and the farmers were pissed off at that because we need it. Argentina's selling all the soybeans now to China instead of China buying our soybeans, and you're giving them $40 billion, and now you want to sell their beef to American consumers instead of our beef that is sky high in prices. Makes sense. I mean, honestly, of all the things Donald Trump has done, to me, this one doesn't sound all that bad. Maybe it's because I am a big beef guy. But this actually seems like, okay, yeah, we need to bring in, we're having a little bit of a cattle shortage right now in the United States. You know, the demand from American consumers is higher than the supply. And that is the perfect instance, you know, in basic macroeconomics where you import to make up for the shortfall to help prevent massive inflation.
Right now, as we are speaking, the MAGA farmers' farms are bleeding red, and not because of celebration, but with debt, failing crops, and also some closing their family farms. And this is because of the choices that they made, showing that indeed choices have consequences. And guys, voting is just a mark that you put on the ballot, but that really shapes and determines your future. They just voted thinking that their lives would change, but you know what? It has shaped their lives in an angle that they never expected. And right now, karma has really hit them very, very hard. And guys, what do you think? Should we blame them because of the choices that they made, or this is just the risk of democracy? Kindly drop your comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you on our next video.